Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kind of being part of the show. Hey, guys, how's everybody doing? I see we are up already on the numbers. How is El Senor Paul Fleming, Atlanta, Georgia? How are you doing, my dear brother? AVQ, Brooklyn, New York. How you doing, AVQ? As well as Tony. Tony. Let's see. Egberto, you are a voice of reason. Keep on keeping on, brother. Well, of course I'll keep on keeping on. Bridge MCP from Binghamton, New York. How you doing, Bridge? Nice to see you here. AVQ, El Senor Rudnin, Michael Rudnin, Brooklyn, Lee Grant, Montgomery County. How you doing today, buddy? Hope great to see you here. Eric Hayes, Kingwood, Atascocita. Let's see, Eric, you gonna start that already, brother? Questions to do you support this kind of stuff, letting people off of felonies? I'm going to leave that for a bit. We're going to talk about it. Hey, two screens here and testing. This is a test case for Baltimore. I think I got the phones fixed. I think you guys may be able to call me up in there directly on the machine. So who is going to be my guinea pig? I need a guinea pig, guys. I need a guinea pig. The number is, and you know what? I have everything set up. I forgot to print the damn number on the screen. And guess who doesn't really have the call in number at the top of the head? I don't. So I'm looking it up right now so that I can make sure and tell you guys to give me a call, como así, like right this minute. Let's see if I can get to that particular number. I had it for a minute and it slipped me by. I had it for a minute and what did it do? It slipped me by. But anyway, I'm looking it up right now. Here we go. 281-823-7747. Call that number now. 281-823-7747. I need to make sure we have complete connectivity. I think I got the right track set up, but I don't know. You know how it works. So give me a call. Who's going to be the first to give me a call? Give me a call on that number ahorita mismo. Bridge MCP said it's busy. Alistair, can you hear me? Let's see. I can't hear you, Miss Alistair Waters. So keep hanging on there. Let me check some channels and see if we can straighten this out right this minute. Let me go to my controller. Alistair, are you there? Let's see. Alistair Waters coming in from line number 2. Alistair, are you there? Can you hear me? Type in the chat if you can hear me, and then we will take it from there. Type in the chat if you can hear me, but I should be able to hear you now. Let me see if there is some other setup in the virtual that I don't have quite yet. Alistair says, okay, so you can hear me. I just can't hear you. So let's stay on the line. Stay on the line. Let's see if I can get that fixed. Stay on the line. Let's see if I can get that fixed. But I have half of it done right now. Folks, for you that are just calling into the show, that's going to be listening to this on the podcast, this is what the PDR posse does, all right? We go ahead and get all these things set up and going. We got an important show. I know it shouldn't be a busy signal. Actually, we should have be able to do a party line, and I don't know why that is. I'm going to check with the system, the new system that we have doing that to see why it is that you are getting a busy signal breach. But I am checking to make sure that our audio is coming in on line two is the virtual audio. That is correct. All right. I tell you what, guys. It seems like I still have one more bug to fix before I get to Baltimore tomorrow. I thought I had this one resolved. It seems like I don't, but let me check one other option here and see the map from that should be. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I need to get this fixed. Line two. Alistair, are you there?
I'm here.
Uh, there you go. I knew I would get it
Are
fixed
you?
at some time. I
Oh,
would get it fixed.
bravo.
I got it fixed. I got it fixed. Let me save this setting off because this is what we're going to use in good old Baltimore. Anyway, how you
There
doing,
we go.
Alistair?
Hey, I'm good, brother. Survived. Thankfully, I have power. My
Oh, you got
sister,
power?
though, their place, we're pretty sure took a direct hit.
Yes.
Um, their neighborhood, they had a lot of large trees in their backyard, and there wasn't a single one standing. Um, they don't have water, they don't have power,
Wow.
but they got out of their neighborhood and are staying out of town. They're where they can, be safe and
Well, Alistair,
shower and
let me
have.
stop you for 1 second, Alistair, because I want to make sure the entire posse can actually hear you. Can the entire posse hear
Oh,
Alistair? Tell me in the chat if the entire posse is listening to Alistair or can hear Alistair. That'll make sure that we have everything
that'll definitely.
copacetic. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to. Rodnin, can you tell me if you hear Alistair? Okay. Somebody's going to chat. I think we're something like 10 seconds behind. Yes, but your mic is low. She said my mic is low, but I
Mine.
guess no, I think it's my mic is low. You are fine. Let's go ahead
Okay.
and I'll get the audio fixed in Baltimore. I know why it is because I'm using a Bluetooth connectivity
I'm
sort
on
of
my
local here.
Bluetooth earbuds.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
so
don't know if
let's go
that's.
ahead. Let me tell you, Kingwood is like an atomic bomb was dropped on the trees because there are trees falling
Yeah.
everywhere. The streets are full of pine cones, oak leaves, and you name it, it's all there. So it is
Yeah.
crazy. Egberto's mic is lower than the caller, but it's not that much difference. Okay, I'm glad that it's not much because my voice
Okay.
have a tendency of carry. But Alistair, I'm glad you're safe, but I'm glad you have power. Guess what?
Yeah.
We don't have power.
A lot of people don't. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to be a while before Centerpoint gets its act together to get it all running fine. But anyway, you guys have
Yeah.
proved that our connectivity over the plain old
Woohoo.
telephone system can come into our network, and that all is going to be fine. So let's go ahead and get busy with the program. Okay, hang up, Alistair. Let's see if Bridge MCP
I'll talk to
wanted
you
to call
later.
in. Let's go ahead and see if Bridge can get
All
in.
right.
Bridge, Alistair's hanging up. Let's see if you can get in. But it should have been a party line that allows several people on at the same time. Let's go ahead
All
and
right.
try it. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, bye, young. Okay, para ver, para ver, para ver. What are we going to talk about today? Here's what I want you guys to do. I'm going to be talking to a whole lot of activists, politicians, writers, bloggers. I'm going to have at least 50 interviews. No less than 50 interviews. Make sure you have the right number, Benish. Maybe that's the issue. Let me go ahead and give you that number again because Alistair got in without the busy, so I am going to give you that number again. I could have, maybe got it wrong. That number is, and I'll go for it una vez más. That number is, para ver, and then I think I better write it down into the chat so everybody can see it. Let's see here. Where is it? Today is not a good start. I have so much going on, getting prepared. I'm a little bit behind. Okay, it is 281 823 7747. 823 let's see, 823 7747. Let me write that down. 823 7747. Vamos a ver aquí. That is 281 823 7747. All right, Posse, I'm going to put that in the chat right this minute, and you guys should have a view of it pretty darn close. Let me bring up another chat here real quick so that we can get that in there because I want to hear as many voices as we can. Want to hear as many voices as we can. All right, let's see. Come on, screens. You can do that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and screen through these different options here. Uh, this, by the way, guys, this is a setup that we're going to use where we're going to put everything in one place. Actually, it's going to be working. Since these computers are not as powerful as the main one, we have to use more than, in this case, more computers for the chat. Okay, let's go ahead. That's the number in the chat, 281-823-7747. Now, Bridge, if you keep getting a busy signal, do remember that we have all kind of connectivity problems here in the Houston area because of Hurricane Beryl or whatever his name is. What can I say? All right, let's go. I think one of the most important topics that we want to cover is Biden one more time. Today, both the Senate and the Congress had their private meetings to decide how they are going to respond to whether they should come out and, in effect, they got to beg Biden to quit, right? That's what they have to do. They got to beg Biden to quit. Biden said he's going nowhere. And look, I don't care if a dead horse is running as a Democrat in 2024. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Harris. I don't care if it's the governor of California. His name skips me right now. I don't care if it's the governor of Michigan. I don't care who is running for the presidency under the Democrats this year. That's who should be getting the vote. It is no questions asked. Anybody who examines Project 2025, you have your answer. Anybody who examines Project 2025, you have your answer. E2247 says the directive, also known as the Hannibal Procedure or Hannibal Protocol, is an Israeli military policy that stipulates the use of maximum force in the event of a soldier being kidnapped. I don't want to touch on that subject right now, guys. I I think we need to stick for now on the show for today. Let's go ahead and stick on Biden. So I want to hear your thoughts as far as where do we go from here? Egberto, if the election comes down to Biden and Trump, our future is looking grim. Yes, but remember what I said several times. If the real choice is binary, and as opposed to the Green Party requiring perfection, if we have to vote for the lesser of two evils, Michael Rudnin, I'm gonna preach from the top of my voice that we do exactly that. And then I'm going to tell you as a progressive, I'm going to tell Bridge as a progressive, I'm going to tell NCP as a progressive, I'm going to tell Paul as a progressive that what we have to do. And for those of you listening on Twitter, share this because I want you to get this one pretty straight. We have to do our job. Many of you give me a hard time for hanging with the right or playing with the right or giving the right a voice. You know why I do that? Because I get it. I get it. If we don't capture some of those people, the best we can offer, the best we can get is Biden. I repeat, if we don't capture some of those, the best we can get is Biden. So we have to mobilize from now. There is one person that is really working very hard on this issue. I want you guys to look at uh, Reverend Barber. I am trying to set up an interview. I interviewed him about 4 months ago, and he's working with the Poor People's Campaign. And he said he was gonna, we were gonna set one up for a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't work out. He got sick. But we are going to have Barber on in the next few weeks. What he's working with right now is the people in Appalachia, right? I'm talking about all those white people that think that they belong in the Republican Party because that is the party where they belong, and the Democratic Party is the party of the other. Barber is waking them up. Barber started with the process under the Obamacare system, where he showed all these folks that it was in their best interest to support the policy that now has over 80% of the people, 80% of the support of the people now that they know it's right. And the same way that he did that is what we as progressives have to do with our brothers and sisters in Appalachia, the ghettos, the barrios, and everywhere in between. Maywood from Long Beach, California. How you doing, my brother? Great to see you here. Who else is here? Sorry, I kind of lost track of everybody in the chat, so bear with me a second. E2247, great to see you here. Bridge MCP says stunned. Trump loses his license after felony. Of course, he can't carry a gun anymore. Trump just lost his liquor. Oh, his liquor license too? Trump just lost his liquor license at both Bedminster and the NJ Golf Clubs because he is a felon convicted of crimes of moral turpitude. And his attempt to transfer the license in the name of Don Jr. failed as well. Michael Popak, who's that? Of Legal AF explanation how this could lead to the forced sale of the clubs if Trump falls into his effort to get the New York convictions overturned. Wow. I didn't even think about the liquor license aspect of it. I didn't think about that. Okay, no, cause Kamala will pick it up. Okay, Breach. Okay, Breach. I hear you. I hear you. All right, Paul Fleming says, I've long wanted that the three big middlemen that control 80% of the drug claims are padding their profits, forcing patients to pay higher drug prices, and driving pharmacists out of business. FTC investigations confirmed it. I am glad at, what is that? At Linak Han FTC is taking action. Look, the entire, you remember Bernie Sanders said this. I want everybody to remember these words. He said the the business model, listen to this well, the business model of Wall Street is what? Fraud. You doubt it? You want a perfect example? Donald Trump has a company, right? New corporation. What is it called again? Come on, Radnid, help me out here. What is Donald Trump's corporation called? His social media corporation. Truth Central or Truth Social. Truth Social. He has Truth Social. Truth Social makes under $1 million a year. That's in sales. Under $1 million in sales. It's it's capitalized at several billion dollars. What is the Wall Street predicated on? Fraud. But capitalism, in effect, is predicated on fraud. You've got a company that owns a whole lot of assets, and that company may be valued at $1 billion. Then somebody comes and create a software company, and the valuation of that software company is $1 billion. you ask yourself, can you transfer the assets? Let's say the mainstream first person who runs corporate A in that software company. And by the way, I'm a software developer, person who had a still had a software company, you know, created a lot of different pieces of software. Is it worth what people that have a material, something that can be traded for? They say, well, we can trade your software. Yeah, but somebody else can write the software too. Well, somebody else can build the asset. Yeah, but you got the asset. So I mean, uh, capitalism is a fraud. I mean, and again, anybody wants to debate that punto por punto, point and point, I am willing to go at it anytime. Uh, Dr. Richard Wolff, the person that I consider the number one economist in this country, when he interviewed and we spoke about it, he said, yeah, you're absolutely right. And to give our kids a different perspective, guess what, Egberto? They listen to what you're saying on capitalism. It is a fraud, just like every single one of these businesses, like you said, Paul Fleming, they are frauds, right? You get an engineer, a scientist, a lawyer to do all these things to create these products, and you pay them a salary one time, and then you take that. And by the way, the invention of those drugs that you're talking about, Paul, guess who paid for them in the first place? Who paid for the raw materials, the intellect that went into those drugs again? Come on, Eric Hayes, you're in the house. You like to defend capitalism. Who paid for it? You know who did it? The taxpayer. Me and you. You know that insulin drug that people are paying $1,000 for that Biden got reduced to $35 a month now? You know who paid for that drug? We did. You know what capitalism did? Capitalism said we can go ahead and create something known as a patent. And with that patent, we can say, all right, insulin is in the public domain, but we can create a new delivery system for insulin for diabetics. And because we've created that new delivery system, meaning some kind of new injection, something that delays how it goes into the blood, we get a 17-year extension on a patent, or not a 17-year patent, that we go out and do what again? Gouge the people, charge them $1,000 a month for the drug. But guess what? Guess what? Even the technology used in things like the EpiPen and all these other things, guess who developed it? We did. We, the people, did at universities, at all these other places, we developed it. So I want everybody to have at the tip of your tongues when you have these people trying to call you. Can I help you? Hello. Okay. 10, 9, 8. You're in politics done right. Would you like to say something? All right, we'll go ahead and hang you up. All right. Again, the number, you guys have the number. Anyway, so anybody who wants to, first of all, call you a socialist or whatever moniker they want to use with you, have no fear. Let them call you whatever. Let them just realize that the things that you support are the things that are saying, I'm not going to pilfer my brother and my sister, right? Because as they're walking themselves to the bank, it's not something they've earned. It is something that we've given for free. The new thing is AI. I know we've spoken about that AI quite a bit. Let me just point out something about AI, right? Let me tell you how I work with AI, and then I'm going to go into a few other issues with AI. As you guys know, we do all these video clips of things that are occurring, right? Every time a political event happens, we want to give our own point of view, etc. And we're going to do a lot of talking about this at Netroots starting on Thursday when we actually start doing our programs at Netroots. But we talk about these issues that we do on videos. So I do my videos. I go ahead and I process it, get it, get the text of the videos. I do the videos first, do the text of the videos, and then then post process the text with AI. So my transcripts actually direct AI. Let me tell you what we have being done by your local newspaper now. Your local newspaper going and they're supposed to tell you. The Houston Chronicle at least tells us this article was written by AI and reviewed by a journalist. But here's the kicker, folks. Let's say they want to write an article today. Biden said something, let's say in some place. They'll go ahead and say, okay, Chat GPT, give me a 500 word essay. Oh, okay, thank you. I've been looking at the other screen. I don't know. I have to get used to the new setup. Thank you, Breach. Uh, let me tell you what they're doing. They write a little story and they said, okay, I know that Biden did X, Y, and Z. Write me a article of 1,200 words, which is the standard article size, between 600 and 1,200 words, depending on the newspaper, that talks about this. And AI generates a beautiful, beautiful text out of those three sentences, and it goes ahead and it does the research. When I'm writing an article, right, or when I'm doing one of my videos, I have to go and I think about the article. I think about what I saw on the different news channels, and I go ahead and get my resources based on that. Well, the new concept is to go ahead and take, you tell AI, I want you to work for me, and AI goes ahead and do that. Is that wrong? It's not about it being wrong. It's about it being robbery. Let me explain. There are good, in fact, some of my stuff show up in AI, right? It's about all those folks that go out there and do the real work. You know, when one of the people ask me, why do you show an Ali Velshi video? Well, I show an Ali Velshi video, but I also interview Ali Velshi, and Ali Velshi also says, hey, I watch your stuff every day, man. Why am I saying this? Most people simply use the work product of others. They don't give the work product of others any credit. The work product of others don't get paid. And at the same time, they cut the jobs of all those reporters that used to be needed to do all the work. Folks, that's capitalism. The abstraction of work, the abstraction of pain. You want to know that? Remember, when you buy a stock, you own a company abstracted. What does that mean? You own a piece of that company. You can say, hey, I own Microsoft. I'm just using that as an example. Microsoft can go out there. Microsoft can go ahead and say, I need all these microchips for our new state-of-the-art computer. I can get some slaves out there in Namibia to go ahead and pick the rocks that have all these slaves. We can, pay them substandard wages or don't pay them at all. You, as the stockholder of Microsoft, you don't take the blame for any of that. The blame is abstracted, so you look like a nice, innocent American, but you're actually funding slave labor. I mean, there are all these abstractions that our current economic system allows you to do. And what progressives stand for, and I repeat, real progressives, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley, the brother that just lost in New York. You know who I'm talking about. The policies that we talk about supporting are the policies to mitigate that. AI, every single person who puts something in the comments, it's would be difficult to figure out how to pay folks in AI. I get it. But you know what we can do? Guess what we can do? We can actually say, well, there's one thing that we know. There's one thing that we know is that if your profession is a journalist, we have subsidized healthcare paid for by the AI baseline, because you know what? Microsoft and Google, they're taking all the AI money. I pay 20 something bucks a month for Chat GPT. I pay I don't know how much a month for all these other technologies, right? So somebody I am paying for what I'm using, but somebody ain't getting paid. You see what I'm saying? And it's something that we need to mitigate. Okay, Bridge, I got to move to the other side of the screen to read the check. So you're going to see my side face right now. But here we go. Um, Mike Cisak is in the house. Hey, Mike. He says, where are you, Missouri? He says, Paul Fleming, it doesn't take legislation to create jobs or combat prices. That's what the private marketplaces does. The private market has been a failure. The private market shipped jobs overseas. They caused the pandemic, the results from the pandemic as they created just-in-time inventory, ship jobs overseas, and then wonder why there's a supply chain problem and then bill you for it. It's the biggest racket out there. Come on now, CSAC, you know better than that. No, the private sector has been a failure in job creation. That's not my numbers. The defense market is one of the biggest markets right now, one of the most profitable markets. Oh, you think it's private? Hell no. It's subsidized by the government. All the bombs that we're killing the Palestinians with. That's private sector building bonds with government money. Your money, my money. Healthcare. All these insurance companies with Medicare Advantage are ripping you off left and right. It costs Medicare Advantage costs more than traditional Medicare. And you know what? Many of the private insurance companies are uh, dropping every any other insurance and just sticking with Medicare Advantage. So CSAC, you don't know what you speak of, sir. The private sector only the employees in the private sector are cogs. Remember that. It's just antiseptic slavery. You want to debate that? Do you really want to do that? Or you want to take the chains out of your head? Which one? All right, let's continue. Um, anyway, so you give me any corporation, any piece in the private sector. Name me one, and I'll show you how we are subsidizing them. You want to talk about, come on, name it. Oil? Who put the damn oil in the ground? Think about it. Who put it there? Who put it? Oh, come on, CSEC. You said you can't debate. You can give me a call right now. You can give me a call right now, my dear brother. You know I love you, but we can talk about it. You know, we'll go one point at a time. I'll listen to everything you have to say, and you listen to everything that I've got to say. It's that simple, brother. Right? Uh, I know, Michael. That's what Mike Cesek does. That is what Mike. But it's okay for those of you listening on podcast right now. Mike Cesek is one of our lovely MAGA. I mean, we have conservatives in the room. A great conservative. Actually, a lot of the conservatives in these rooms are great supporters of politics done right. I love my conservatives. I love my MAGA folks. But Mike Cesek, hey Mike, why? I don't think you are a supporter of politics done right, even though you're here every day, brother. I don't know. We're gonna have to, Bridge, you're gonna have to talk to Mike Cesek, man. But anyhow, I'm playing. I'm playing. Although you should. But anyhow, here's the deal. What we have to start doing is without the fear of somebody calling you a communist or a socialist or a Marxist. You don't fear those things. You know, Professor Richard Wolff, he just goes out there and says, "Hey, I'm a Marxist." Okay, you know, but I love the guy. I don't, you know, I just think the guy loves people and he really understands the economy and he knows the economy. Unlike a lot of our capitalist, you know, uh, capitalist economists. You know, I spoke to Robert Reich. We were at Move to Amend, and we went ahead and we interviewed Robert Reich. And Robert Reich and I went back and forth. And my last question was after he answered the questions, right? It was like, so isn't that what you define? And by the way, I don't call myself a socialist, right? I call myself somebody who wants free enterprise, an economy that works. I want to have my own company. You have your own company. We can all do things together, you know, and we are all taxed based on what we bring in, right? And also we tax based on what we the pen the what do you call that? The pain that we put on the environment, the pain that we put on society as a whole. In other words, let's say you have a trucking company and you drive your trucks all over the place. I mean, your trucks tear up the roads more than any personal car. But right now, there's no special thing that takes that into account for the corporation who owns 100 trucks or something like that. They just get free use to damage the streets just as much as that thousand that you know 2-ton car that does little damage. Those are things that we got to mitigate. But again, those are subsidies to corporations. We are subsidizing corporations who use the road. We're subsidizing corporations who dig into a hole, suck up some oil, and then go ahead and say, okay, we're going to charge you XYZ for the oil that we didn't make. We didn't put it. Oh, well, we charge it for processing the oil. But what does it cost? And you can know how it costs at the inception of the pandemic. We got a lot of raw numbers then. Look it up. All right, Mike says, Egberto, heavy trucking pays high fuel taxes that pay the majority of transportation budgets. All of us pay high fuel charges. Punto y final. In fact, one of the issues with electric cars is since all of our taxing is a regressive tax on cars, right? A regressive tax on cars. It's an issue. How are we going to mitigate electric cars and they paying for their fair share of the roads? I can't get it on the screen right now, Michael Radin. You know, I have some issues with the screen that I've got to put up. By the time I get to Baltimore, I'll fix that so that I can put your image onto the screen. But folks, click on Michael Radin's image there. I think you're going to like it. Anyhow, so that is the reality. And as far as trucks are concerned, you can't tell me based on fuel charges because that truck causes damages that a regular car would never, ever, ever cause at all. Paul Fleming says, why is the Texas Gulf grid still vulnerable to a hurricane, thunderstorm? Listen, we should be ashamed of ourselves. Listen, a category 1 hurricanes come through here, blows down a lot of trees, and along with the trees, blow down a lot of power. And with that, I am running on a generator that's costing me in gasoline 50 to 60 bucks minimum per day. Actually, maybe more than that. Charger, it's about 27 gallons of gas a day. I think that's what Ashley and I calculated it to be about today. So tell me, I am subsidizing the oil companies for the ineptitude of the utility companies that are not governed in Texas from the ineptitude of the who again? The politicians paid by the oil companies, the utility companies who screw us all and we pay. And then you think you're not a slave, Mike. You know, you think you're not a slave, Mike, right? Come on. Egberto, a typical five-axle truck pays 4,000 in annual federal diesel tax. And you want me to feel sorry for that? Ask how much it makes and how much damage it does to the road. A car does negligible damage to a road. A truck does measurable damage to a road. And you want us to feel good that the truck is going to pay $5,000 in taxes and a regular person like you and me going to pay $1,000? Mike, come on. Math is absolute, Mike. Math is absolute. Math is absolute. Anyway, gotta look sideways again. I'm gonna have to fix that breach. I'm probably gonna have to put the computers in the center so that when I'm reading the chat, it doesn't quite go like that. Let's see what else I got here. Let's see what else I got here. Uh, let's see. Paul says, so that means you can have a solar home. Paul, that is actually a very smart thing. Let me tell you, if you look, we subsidize oil companies on the order of billions of dollars, right? I want to postulate something here. I want you to fly over any city, any suburb, and all you see are roofs and roofs and roofs and roofs. Every single one of those roofs is a power station, or I should say, a potential power station. Imagine if the government said, I am going to subsidize every single home with solar panels connected to the grid. We don't even have to go buy real estate or all that land in the field and all that kind of stuff where they're putting in solar plants. Just use everybody's home, the roof of their home, as a power generation station that gives them power and also exports power. And here's how it works, right? We put the panels on your home. You use whatever power you use, you get it for free. Whatever power that you don't use goes onto a grid. And the government makes the profit from all unused power. Wow! Imagine that. Here we have, but guess what stops that? Capitalism. I had some guys come over here to give me a quote for, and Bruce can tell you that. Bruce, are you in the chat? He can talk about the folks that I brought in to give me solar panels. The solar panel prices on my home was as high, and for the same setup, as high as $93,000, as low as $30,000. And the folks who went ahead and told me $93,000 when I said, ha ha ha, ha, you kidding, right? They came and said my manager decided to take a cut in his what do you call it? Is what do you call it when you have a not a subsidy in his bonus? He decided to take a cut in whatever bonus he gets from the sale. And because he took the cut from that bonus, he was going to give me that solar panel at the perfectly great price of $63,000. I had to look at it and laugh. I said, thank you so kindly. Bye bye. I had some on the internet. They look at your house on the satellite now, man. They don't even have to come out. They just look on your house. They see your roof. They know the inclinations and everything, and they know what parts of your roof can actually be populated with solar panels. And that's what they do. And they populate it with solar panels, and they can give you an estimate of what it'll cost. They can even see the trees and have a figure of what the solar, the solar volume is. I mean, all these different things they can do these days. But you know what? It makes it is how capitalism can destroy a good thing. If we had the government come into the market and say a solar panel on every roof, the electricity to the people are free. Whenever you don't make enough electric power, you're going to be pulling it from the grid, and you pay for that power that you pull from the grid. And you can do something to the effect of, by the way, when you're pulling from the grid, you will always pay for that, but what you are generating, you never pay for. That's a good trade-off, right? After all, you got some panels. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. Sorry guys, got to look off again. On the chat, we got Paul says he never heard of David Duke. That was the Donald Trump claim. He never heard of David Duke, just like he never heard of Project 2025. Check out our show. I think I have a new Substack on Project 2025. And by the way, you can also go directly to my website, egbertowillies.com, search for Project 2025, and read the entire 900 something page document. I've got to admit, I've only read the beginning of it. Then I went to the Freedom Democracy site and got some synopsis because at that time I don't have the time to read 900 pages of crap. I'm going to have to sometime, but it's 900 pages of utter crap. I mean, I don't even know how they pay these guys to write these things, honestly, but you know how that goes. Let's see what else we got here. What else have we got here? Twitter. Don't forget if those listening are watching on Twitter, don't forget to do that. Let's see. Egberto, scroll up to my post about Japan. Okay, Bridge. I'm looking for your post about Japan. Monster 310-mile automated cargo conveyor will replace 25,000 trucks. The Japanese government is planning to connect major cities with automated zero-emission logistic links that can quietly and efficiently shift millions of tons of cargoes while getting tens of thousands of trucks off the road. I love it. You know, people always say automation killed jobs. Guess what? You're right. But I want jobs killed. I want us to reduce the work week from, let's say, right now the work week is 40 hours. I don't know who really works 40 hours. They usually work more. But from 40 hours, think about this. We can start with a 20-hour work week. When we get all this automation, 20 hours. Here's the problem what we have. Automation created by the knowledge of all of us. All right? And other people say, well, no, this Jeff Bezos did something great in the book selling industry, and Elon Musk, all of them are using technology created by others. They're all using technologies created by what? The commons, right? A little piece of my technology is in the Boeing 787, right? I don't get a penny. They paid me one licensing fee, and that was the end of it. But Boeing is going to continue selling that 787 over and over and over and over again. And all that test equipment that has ComDRV in it. Hey, I got paid once. Microsoft, Bill Gates was smarter. He was a true capitalist. He said, I'm not going to sell MS-DOS. I'm going to license MS-DOS. And every time MS-DOS move from one computer to the next, I'm going to get some money off of it. I don't have to do a damn thing, but I'm going to make a piece of the action, and I become a billionaire doing that. That's the difference between free enterprise and capitalism. You see? That's the difference between free enterprise and capitalism. Okay, we're coming close to the end, so I need to read. Eric Hayes says government should not be leading job creation force as its deficit spending. Okay, that is indoctrination. That is indoctrination. Anybody who tells you government shouldn't do X, Y, and Z, they're drinking or are drinking from the tit of some capitalist who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. A dollar doesn't know from whence it is spent, right? A dollar does not know from whence it is spent. That's a statement of fact. All right? If the government spends a dollar, it is no different than SpaceX spending a dollar. It's the first motion of that dollar. We have been indoctrinated into believing that somehow the private sector is more efficient. It's the biggest fallacy out there. You want me to prove that to you? Let's go to the good old post office. The good old post office for 60, I don't know, let's just say for argument's sake, 69 cents. I can get you a letter from any part of the United States to another part of the United States for 69 cents. And with that 69 cents, with that model, the post office is profitable. I repeat, it's not supposed to make a profit, but it is profitable. What the What the conservative and neoliberals did to the post office is they said, you've got to carry 75 years of retirement on all your employees, which turned that profit into payables, right? Ridiculous accounting. It was just an accounting anomaly. That's it. But let's go further. UPS, DHL, FedEx, they can't deliver a first class piece of mail for under $5. All right? Talking about efficiency, and you know why they can't do it? Because they have a shareholders to pay. They got to make a profit for the shareholders. You know why they can't do it? Because them executive got to get them big ass bonuses. You know why they can't sell it for 6 to 9 cents? So anybody who lied to you and anybody who wants to believe that, oh my God, the private sector is more efficient, it's the biggest lie ever told. Now, I'm not saying that I want everything nationalized. I don't. But everything in the commons, I want nationalized. Everything in the commons has to be nationalized. So, yes, I want banking nationalized. Well, the UPS system, the USPS system, Postal Service is already quasi nationalized. Utilities nationalized. Look at the example that we have to show. Centerpoint didn't stage anybody for what we're going through now, and I am likely gonna be leaving this damn house on generator power as folks have to fight to find gasoline to keep it going. You want to talk about the private sector? You really want to do that, Mike Cisak? Egberto, no one can send first class letter except the USPS due to federal law. Again, brother, don't mix semantics. You cannot get a piece of mail to every part of the United States like the USPS can. In fact, guess who delivers the last mile of many of FedEx's products and boxes, UPS's boxes, DHL's boxes? The United States Post Office. And why? Because they are more efficient than UPS, FedEx, and all the others combined. They can't afford FedEx, UPS, and all of these, they can't afford to deliver to every zip code in America. But guess who can and still makes a profit? The United States Post Office. So you can love them or you can hate them, but they work. And the FedEx, UPS, and DHL, well, what can I say? Those are facts. Look them up. You don't have to listen to what I said. You just have to look it up. The problem is that we don't have a media system speaking the truth. And that's why you have politics done right. That's why you have these other sources like TYT. That's why you have Daily Kos. That's why you have Common Dreams. That's why you have all of us who form this consortium of truth tellers. And by the way, we're all meeting in Baltimore where we can all strategize on how to defeat the parts of the mainstream media that has failed everybody. Bree says, good luck at Netroots. Keep us updated. Man, I'm going to keep you guys updated on Instagram. I'm going to keep you guys updated on YouTube and everywhere else. I just hope I don't have to do as much walking as I did 2 years ago, which almost killed me. But, we're going to get it done. Paul Fleming says, cost of postage is going up again. I know we need to get rid of the guy who's the Postmaster General right now. Mike Cisak say, it's why we have Egberto spitting out falsehoods. I love when my right-wing brothers tell me I spit falsehood. I love it because they have yet to be able to point to a reliable source that doesn't confirm what I've said. But it's okay. Keep trying, Mike. Keep trying. Breach, tell him to keep trying, Breach. Keep trying. Keep trying. Anyway, look, folks, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, we need several more hundred, actually more like 1,500 paid subscribers to our newsletter. Egberto Barber is in both those movies I told you to watch. Thank you, Breach. I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. As soon as I get things under control, it's kind of been crazy. I'm going to watch the movie. Thank you, my sis. But look here. Go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and I need to put it in the chat, and I don't have it in the chat. Politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, and that's the way to become a paid subscriber of the Egberto Off the Record newsletter. And again, I guarantee you, we have over what 11,000 subscribers. I mean followers now, 10,000, 9,100 subscribers, 10,000 followers, but we only have 100 and change paid subscribers. We need to multiply that by a bunch. So go ahead and go to politicsandright.com/newsletter, and we can get this done. Of course, you can become a patron, politicsandright.com/patron. Patron is spelled Patreon. Patreon. Bridge MCP, before I go, says, MAGA is a fake American, period. Ignorant people. Bridge, you know how we work here. Love you, Bridge. But, I want all my MAGA to stay right here with us. I want my MAGA folks to kind of get some seeds planted in their head. And you've done a great job of doing that, whether you know it or not, Bridge. You've done a great job of doing that, Fleming. You've done a great job of doing that, E2247. You've done a great job of doing that, AVQ and Eric Hayes. Well, no, Eric, you are kind of on the right side of the aisle. That's all right. We're going to bring you over, brother. It's okay. We still love you out here. Alistair Waters, we know you're doing your work. We also know that we have Bruce doing the work. Look, a lot of folks in this chat, man, it's too long to go through. A lot of you guys in the chat are doing the work, and it's something we just have to keep on doing. Look, it's after 4. I got to get out of here, and I got to pack all this stuff up and get it to fit in under 50 pounds per bag. So we're going to go get busy, and I'll see you. I'll probably give you guys a shout out from the airport, kind of give you a dolly of how things are going, and from the hotel and from the convention floor. We're going to have a ball. Well, all of us, the PDR posse, we're going to have a ball. Anyway, folks, got to get out of here. And you know how I do that. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.